Hey, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today, I'm Bankrupt being joined once again by Jimmy, one of the worst players at our shop.
Hey, I'm fantastic.
And Jimmy's brought his take on Videl. Now, I know this isn't truly a red-green build, but it has red in it.
Tell you how many times that's happened.
So, like always, there's buttons. Feel free to click them. Jimmy, take it away.
So since Bandai is sexist, like every female leader in the game, it's a 5k, 10k. But it draws a shit ton of cards to make up for it. So auto on attack, you draw a card, and then the auto, when you combo with a Skillless, you will draw a card, then you can pick up a life. You can auto Spirit Boost. You could use that Skillless that you comboed with, strike a marker for Spirit Boost, play the one drop, thanks buddy. Play the one drop, 4 or less, hybrid, flip your leader over. On backside on attack, you will draw one, then you can choose one of your green Unison cards, switch it to rest mode, and gain its power. So it's a nice workaround of being able to have a solid swinger on the backside while still having 10k on defending. And then the auto draw one, but then your Skillless gains 4,000 combo power. Which all of your Unisons have 6k, so it makes it a nice round number for the game. And then the same Spirit Boost, but your Skillless will gain +5 on play, making it a 15k. Moving on to the Skillless package, we run just the Videls. So it does not lock you to running just the green Skilllesses or these Videl specifically, but for another card that I run that I really enjoy, you have to have a green Skillless in play. So these are the ones I just run for right now. I do have another variation of the list that runs a little bit of spice with the one drops. Another green Skillless card, technically, we got Jimi. So she's a one-drop cantrip that negates her skills for the game. So I bumped it down to a 2 of. It might come out, to be completely honest with you. Our Unison package. 4 Great Sandman, I'm sorry. When you activate Spirit Boost, you KO a 2 or less, which is fantastic for stuff like BMS, which will eat you alive in this deck if you don't take care of it. +1, add a one-drop Skillless to your hand, and then the +0 is when he is attacked, you get to combo with a Skillless from your hand. So it kind of gets that workaround, so if your opponent just goes deep into your Unison, you still have options to be able to combo and Spirit Boost. The other Unison we run, Pan. I would actually, to be completely honest, I might go 4 Pan and 2 Sandman, to be completely honest with you, because this card is coming in clutch all night. So when you activate Blocker on your leader, which Pan gives your leader card blocker, you get to pick up a one-drop Skillless and add a marker to her at the beginning of your turn. And then her -2 is your opponent can only attack, I think it's just, they can attack 1 time with battle cards under the energy cost of 4. So fantastic for decks that like to fly low, a lot of spammy decks. This is a fantastic card. And giving your leader card blocker, so if they try to go into your Unison to kill it, just block with your leader, and then now you can start comboing and get your combos, your engine off. And a final Unison card. This card might as well just be a damn secret rare. It's ridiculous. Double strike critical, blow up a field ignoring barrier, gain game +5,000 on the +1. The -5 is doesn't work in this deck, so don't worry about it. Struggling, Bancroft?
Readjusting so it's better. Now I realized I wasn't close enough, so I need to.
Gotcha. So we run 2 Heart of a Maiden. I only casted this card once tonight, and it was fantastic. You search top 7, you either add 2 Skilllesses to your hand, or you play a 6k unit or a 6,000 Unison with a marker on it. Basically just hand extension off the top of the deck. For 1 energy, it's amazing. 2 feels right. For our super combos, 3 Nappa. Nappa's fantastic super combo, come into play, double super combo. And then I run a 1 of Gine, just because I always thought these super combos were kind of interesting. I did run 4 Gine in the original list, but I found
for that?
She does, because she targets either a red leader card or a heroine.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Forgot about that.
Yeah, so she's really weird because she's a super combo that only has 5,000, but she gives 6,000 to another card in your combo area. So since almost every single attack with your leader, you're going to be comboing a Skillless, I felt that she was really interesting to play into. And I found that in almost every instance, Nappa was just a better super combo. But I kept her in as a 1-up just because I like it, and I think it's kind of neat to run a super combo that not a lot of people are running. And the reason you run the multicolor super combos is for this guy. This guy has put in so much work in the tournament tonight. I did not expect this to be as good as it was. If I could run 12 of these in the deck, I would, because of how fantastic they've been. Arrival for 1 green, double striker, activate battle. You get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, or combo cards, place it in the drop area, then give your Unison or a battle card plus 5,000 power. So, fantastic defensively, you know, combo out, arrival this on your opponent's turn, then activate battle, kill one of their combos. It's really unexpected, and it's just been amazing. Like, I cannot put into words how good this card has been tonight. And even on your turn, it's not completely dead because you don't get the combo kill, but you get to buff things by 5,000. So your 10k Skilllesses, you can buff it by 5 to make it an actual get over to 15k leaders. Something I like to do is give the buff to my Unison card, and then tap the Unison with my leader on attack. So it basically I can give my leader the plus 5,000. But this card has been so clutch all night. Great Sandman. You activate main 1 green energy, pick up a Skillless battle card, play her, and then you play a 2-drop Skillless from your drop area or your deck. Your targets are Sun Gohan Brainwashed. You can run any 2-drop in this slot. I decided I wanted to run a red one just to give me more arrival targets. And plus, Baby is my favorite saga, so I try to put any sort of baby card into any deck that I build. But fantastic pressure. It felt really clunky when I was first playing this because I was running this at 3 and Sandman at 4. But I felt like this was just a better ratio overall because you will see it with the amount of cards that you draw. You just don't want to see it too much. Nimbus Master, only come up once all night. It's just another red combo card. I thought, you know, I might need more red. If you don't have them, don't worry about it. It's not that great. I really, to be honest with you, I think I could have got my game either way without this card. So he's just there. I don't really have much else to say about him. He was kind of just null and void all night. The best cards in the game, Dormant Potential. This card is broke as shit. You just put it on the board and go, you can't win. And your opponent goes, okay, thank you, sir, and then passes. I'm not explaining anymore.
Isn't like the may have another type thing?
Yeah, sure, yeah, whatever Bancroft says, whatever fetish Bancroft has. Charismatic Villain, you know what this card does, because it's also broke as shit. Second best counterplay in the game, right behind Trunks, in my opinion. So, when I was originally building this, I had it in my head that I would never have a lot of markers on my Unison, just due to the amount of times I'd be spirit boosting. But I found that most of the time, I was maybe spirit boosting, like, max 3 times the entire game. And I was basically just using the Skilllesses as like a form of like pseudo super combo. So markers tend to stay around the 3 to 4 range throughout the entire game. So these are pretty much never dead. Topo Boo, because green needed more defense. It's just Topo. We run 3 Videl with all her might. I have been absolutely in love with this card. It's one of like the sneakiest and also like weirdest cards to come out of the set. So she's a blocker. Limit 1 if you have a green Skillless card in play. That's the reason you run the 1-drop green Skilllesses. You play her out, and then your opponent gets to choose. They either choose 2 cards in their hand, place them in the drop area, or you get to choose one of their battle cards and KO it. And that is on attack. And this does not happen in the counter window. And it's also not a counter. So your opponent, all their counters do not work against this. They will either have to counter play it and keep it from touching the field, or, you know, BMS will eat this live, which sucks. But, you know, whatever. But This card is fantastic because you can put your opponent in bad positions where they have to make a serious choice where they either lose out on the hand advantage, which you're already like 13 cards above them in most cases, or you just get to KO the attacking card. And her being blocker as well, just massive defense off of this card. One thing to note is that if your opponent has no battle cards in play and you play this on like a leader card attack, they can choose to just tell you to KO one of the battle cards, and they don't have a battle card, so basically you just paid 1 energy for a blocker on their turn. So keep that in mind when you're playing this. Run 2 Pan Natural Fighter. So she combos out, you choose one of your Skillless battle cards. It either gains blocker, or if it has 10k or less, it gains +5 in crit. I've never used it for the critical, but I've used this many times for the blocker. Just really solid. Opponent might not expect it. They might use the resources to remove like another card. Bancroft's shaking his head.
I wasn't expecting it, man. Like,
if you watch the matchup between Videl and Super 17, I played this card and it was fantastic in that matchup. Because most of the time, your opponent, once you have all these one-drop skilllesses, they're not really afraid of it, especially if they're awakened. So they stop removing them. They stop worrying about dealing with them. They deal up with your Great Sandmans or your 20k Gohans. That they just leave these inactive and you just combo these out and make them defensive, defensive walls.
I gotta say,
Run 1 Pan the Courageous Youth. So this is basically just a double strike Champa for this deck. You're never playing it, obviously. People forget about the second auto that you can pay 1, it gains +5,000 and gives a Heroine double strike. So since your leader is attacking for like 25k in most cases, throwing this on there, making a 35k double strike is just amazing. And it's a 0-5k. So you don't want to be tapping a lot of energy for 1 cost 10k combos in this deck. So this gives you a fantastic option to either use it just as a 5k defensive combo, or combo it, tap the 1, and turn it into a double strike Champa. So just fantastic card for the deck. I run a couple of 1-ofs here other than the Pan. I just grabbed this out. Pretty much any good Overrealm card is going to be fantastic. I felt like in a lot of cases, if my opponent makes bad decisions earlier in the game, and they have a small hand size, that a double strike crit at 3 life is a lot more valuable than something like a dual attack Bardock. So this is just the one that I grabbed. You can run pretty much any good Overrealm in this slot, or just don't run it Overrealm if you're a psychopath. I run, this is basically my secret rare of the deck. This card is just ridiculous. If it's in rest mode, your opponent has to drop 2 to attack. When he's played, he wipes both fields, ignoring barrier, and your opponent drops 2. Don't worry about the rest of the auto because you have to have a Majin leader. And then if he's removed, he just comes back into play, and he's Deflect Revenge. So good luck removing this card. This card is insanely good. 5 energy is a little steep, but if you're playing this card, you're going for game. So just amazing. And then the last secret rare, Jiren, Shackles of the Past. This is the only red card in the entire deck that you're paying red energy for. It's a barrier, you can only have 1. Auto, if you have 10,000 power battle cards in your drop area at the start of your main phase, he gains double strike, dual attack, and your opponent has to drop 2 if they want to counter. So in games that go long, around turn 4 to 5, you charge one of your mono red cards with a red energy, and you drop this guy. And it basically says to your opponent, you have to win the game your next turn, or I just win. So you can force your opponent into overextending, and then you hold like your ace in the hole, like a dormant potential, or like one of your Topo Boos, and then you drop that and force your opponent to pass into this guy. And you do run quite a few 10Ks. It is kind of a steep cost to get, but Topo Boo is a 10K. Your Frieza Charismatics are 10Ks. Your Skilllesses are obviously 10K. All of your super combos are 10K. So it's not too out there to actually hit 10 in the drop area, but your game does have to go pretty long to see this happen. But that's it. I've been having a lot of fun with the deck. There's another variation that Jake is telling me about, something about a little Joey Palladino may have brewed up that might be interesting. I might have a take on that. Me and Jake are going to work on it. But this deck's been a lot of fun. Nothing in the set's really caught my eye other than this, just because it's an odd, weird type of deck, which I enjoy those type of things, especially if I can make them like try dual color, weird shit.
So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Like always, there's buttons on the screen down below. Feel free to click them. With that being said, read your cards, know your plays, and fluff out.